So callback is like I will call you back later. That's what it means. Hey there, this is Gaurav. Welcome back with another video. So today I'll be talking about the concept of callback function in JavaScript in the context of first class function. So in JavaScript, the function that we are using, it's not an ordinary function. It has something special in it. So that's what we will learn today. So without wasting any further time, let's jump right in. Alright, so for this video, I'll be using Visual Studio Code and I do need nodejs installed. So in order to install these two, it's very simple. You just go and search installed nodejs. And the first link you will find it out. Like if you are using Windows or Mac, based on the configuration, you can download it from here. So I have already downloaded it, so I'm not downloading it again. The same way you have to install VS Code. It's a very powerful IDE, so I'll be using this to show you example. So you can download it from here as well. Now in order to check whether you have downloaded nodejs or not, you can just go and write the command node then -v. It will give you the version. So I have already installed nodejs, okay? And next you have to create one folder. Let's say I have created one folder under D, and here you have to create one file. Let's say I'm giving the name index.js. Okay, that's it. Cool. So here I'll be writing all my JavaScript code. Here I'll be giving you the idea that what is callback function. So before that, let me show you how to run this file. So let's say if I'm writing normal, let's say console.log, I'm writing, let's say hi. You just have to write node and then the file name. That's it. See, it is giving you hi. So that means we have successfully executed this command. Okay. So now let me write a simple function, the function that you are very much familiar with. So I'll just write function. Let's say I'm writing hello world. It's very common, right? Okay. So and this function will be giving you some output. Let's say it's consoling some text hello world. Cool. Okay, so now if I again run it, I'm not getting anything because I have to call it, right? So I'm calling it now. Okay, now if I save it and call it, I'll be getting hello world. That's fine, right? So this is a syntax I think you guys are very familiar with, right? If you are from different background like Java and others. But the function that we have in JavaScript, it's not an ordinary function. It is called first class function, or it is called higher order function. Now what is first class function, we have to know first, and then we will slowly go towards callback function, because that is the main foundation. So a first class function has some properties that we have to understand. The first property would be, let me write it down all the properties, then I'll explain one by one. Okay, so these are the properties that first class function should have, and in JavaScript we have first class function. Okay, now the first thing, that this function is nothing but an instance of object type. Okay, a function in JavaScript, it behaves like any other object we have, and because of that we can store this function in a variable. I mean, this entire function definition we have, we can store it in a variable. Also, we can pass this function as an argument to another function, and we can return this function from a function. So if a function has all these properties, then we can call it as first class or higher order function, right? So we will see all the example, and then we will try to understand how callback is coming from this concept. Okay, so let me try to store this function. So I'm just commenting this part because I don't need it now. Let me also cut it, copy it. Okay, now let's try to store this function in a variable. So you can use any keyword. Let's say I'm using let, you can use const, var, whatever you want. I'm writing the function name, let's say hello world. Okay, and now here I will write the function keyword. That's it. So in JavaScript this is called function expression. Okay, and this was my function statement. So here it's called anonymous function. So this function is behaving like an object, and we are storing this object into a variable hello world. This is function expression. Now we can call this function through the help of this hello world. Let me just call it again, save it, try to run this. See, we are getting hello world. So let me just change the output so that you can understand. It's coming from here, hello world from function expression, and here also I'm writing a different name so that you will understand how I'm using variable to call it. Let me save it again. We will be getting the same output, hello world from function expression. So that is the third point, that we can store a function in a variable. Okay, now we will come to the fourth point, that is the important point from where we will understand the concept of callback. But before that, let me discuss the point 5. So we can return a function from a function. Okay, let's try to implement that one as well. So again, I'm commenting this part. So let me try to put the properties here so that you can refer which one is the example of which properties. Let me try to give you the example for fifth property first, and then I'll come back to the fourth. Okay, so it's saying we can return a function from a function. Okay, so let me just write a function again, simple. Hello world, the same function I'm using. Okay, and this function, let's say printing something, hello world. After that, we have to return a function, right? Let's say we are returning a function, and this function is also consoling some text, and that is, let's say, inside hello world. Okay, fine. Now we can call it through this name, or we can store it in variable as well. So let me try to call this with name. So if I call it, then what happened? It will return this function, right? Let me store that function first. So let's say I am storing that in a variable, let's say get function, whatever name you can give. So this get function is basically having this function definition. Okay, now let me call get function. Cool. So now let me try to console it the same way. See, we are getting both the output. Hello world is coming from here, and this inside hello world function is coming from here. Okay, now instead of writing it in 2 lines, we can do it in single line as well. Let's remove it out, and we can call it, because this part is giving you the definition of this function. This is an anonymous function, and we are basically calling it. Let me save it and try again. Okay, we are getting the same output, right? So I hope you understood this point as well. Now let's understand about callback. So let's read this line again. We can pass a function as an argument to another function. That's what callback is. So callback is nothing but a function which we can pass as an argument to another function, which will be called later. Later means after certain task will be executed. So let me give you the example of this. Okay, so let's say I am going to write one function, and that is, let's say, let me just also comment it out. I'm just commenting this one. Let me clear the console as well. Okay, good. Let's say I'm writing one function, display message. Okay, I'm writing it just a function statement. I'm not storing it in any variable, so it's not an expression anyway. So now I have to call this function, right? So let's say we have one more function, the function that we have created initially. Let me uncomment it. So now what I will do, I will try to call this function, which is hello world, from or within this display message function. So how we can do it? So we can pass this function as an argument. Okay, that's what it says, right? Because function is nothing but an object here, so we can definitely pass it. The moment I am passing it, it is nothing but an actual argument. I have to receive it through my formal argument. That's where I will write the name callback. You can write whatever you want. So callback is basically receiving this function definition, because we are not calling it, we are just sending the definition here. And now let's say I will do some stuff. Let's say I'm having one variable, let x, I'll be doing some operation here, and then after that I will call this function. Here I'll be calling this function. Okay, and if I call this function, what will happen? This function will be called within this function. Okay, that is what callback is all about. So callback means a function which we can pass as an argument to another function, that is display message, which then be called later. It is not getting called immediately because here we can do certain tasks, and after that you can call my callback function. So callback is like I will call you back later. That's what it means. Okay, so now let me just try to print it. Let's say whether it's coming or not. Okay, see, it's coming. Hello world. Let me change the name with, so just I'm changing the name so that you will understand it's coming from here. Yeah, we are getting this message. And also there are different way of doing it. Like here, instead of passing hello world, we can pass this entire definition. How? So I'm writing it here. Okay, let me just format it. So here I'm passing it. I don't have to give name here, because now it is going to be my anonymous function, and I am changing it so that you will understand that it is coming properly. So now instead of passing that function name, I am directly writing the function definition here. Okay, so if I try to run it, see, we are getting this. Okay, it should be message, sorry for that. Okay, there would be another way as well, that is through arrow function. That is also different syntax we have. So in arrow function we can write like this, or we may not need this. Let's remove it out and just format it. Are you doing anything wrong here? Okay, I don't need this. Okay, this is a different syntax. Arrow function we can directly use here as a definition. Let me just run it. See, we are getting the message again. Okay, so that is how callback function basically work. And along with that you can pass other parameter as well. Like I am passing, let's say 25, and I can, let's say I'm taking it here, let's say x, and I'm just consoling it. So that's also I can do very easily. So I'm getting 25 as well. So that's how callback works. It is helping us to write asynchronous coding. So if I talk about nodejs, or if you go any framework where you are doing asynchronous coding, this is a foundation, I would say. Like the first class function, you should know the concept, and then how the callback is happening. So okay, let me give you one example of callback that we have already. That is called set time out. Okay, now here let me write a callback function. I'm using arrow function, or I can write another way as well. So let's say I'm writing a function here. Okay, the first argument would be my callback function. Okay, I'm just writing the definition directly here, and here I'll be writing some time. Let's say I'm writing 3000. It is millisecond. So after 3000 millisecond, this function will be getting called. Same way, like after something will happen, my callback function will be called. So let me just print here inside set timeout. Okay, let's try to do it. Let's see how it works. Let me clean it. See, it is not coming. Okay, it will be coming after 3 seconds. That's how it works, callbacks. So callbacks help us a lot when it comes to asynchronous coding. Okay, I think that's all for today. I hope you got the idea of callback. You will be using a lot if you are planning to switch your career in JavaScript. That's all for this video. See you soon in the next video. Thank you. Take care. Tata. Bye bye.